In addition to awarding degrees to our graduates this December, we have the honor and privilege of granting the 295th honorary degree in our 110-year history. Colleges and universities have been awarding honorary degrees for generations. These degrees are symbols of recognition and acknowledgement of significant accomplishments. It is the highest honor that an institution may bestow. Today, we continue this highly honored academic tradition. Following approval by a unanimous vote from the Board of Trustees of Bowling Green State University, we confer upon Jo Ann Davidson the honorary degree of Doctor of Public Service. I now invite Provost and Senior Vice President for Academic Student Affairs, Dr. Jo Whitehead, to the podium to introduce Speaker Davidson.
Thank you, President Rogers. Public servant, national leader, staunch advocate. Today's honorary degree recipient, Jo Ann Davidson, is the first woman speaker of the Ohio House of Representatives, and she has experienced a distinguished career in Ohio State Legislature. As a public university for the public good, we recognize that she is an extraordinary example of someone who has dedicated their life to creating public good. A public servant and government leader, Speaker Davidson worked on the Reynoldsburg City Council, represented her distinct district in the Ohio House of Representatives, and served as co-chair of the Republican National Committee. It does not stop there, as she continues to be an effective trailblazer and advocate for women in politics and public policy. In addition to her work in government, Speaker Davidson also educates the next generation of public servants in the Jo Ann Davidson Leadership Institute. Her story is one of hard work and grit, especially in a time that was not welcoming to women in politics and government. Known for going door to door to engage constituents, to constantly reacting across the political aisle to find the common ground in the best interest of Ohioans. Speaker Davidson embodies the best of public service. BGSU is definitely not the first to recognize her for these significant accomplishments, and her service in Ohio also goes beyond the halls of State House. She's a trustee emerita of Franklin University and the University of Findlay, as well as a former trustee of the Ohio State University. She also holds honorary degrees from Capital University, the University of Findlay, Franklin University, Ohio University, and the Ohio State University. With the support of our faculty, Speaker Davidson, whose career has impacted Ohio and beyond, is deserving of this honorary doctorate of public service. Public servant, national leader, staunch advocate, and now a Falcon. Speaker Davidson, please join President Rogers and me at the podium for your degree presentation and hooding. Graduates, I am pleased to present Dr. Jo Ann Davidson, recipient of an honorary doctorate of public service.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. The president of Bowling Green State University, Dr. Rodney Rogers, Provost Dr. Whitehead, Chair of the Bowling Green University Board of Trustees, Betty Montgomery, staff and students. I can't tell you how honored I am to receive this recognition today. For many reasons. Yes, I do have some other honorary degrees, but this one is sort of close to my heart because it's close to where I'm from. My hometown is Findlay, which is just down the road, and so I've been very much aware of the activities of Bowling Green through the years. I think the one thing that actually sticks in my mind is going back to when I was actually attending school in Findlay. there was really no place to go if you were a student and you were trying to figure out what subject you could excel in and how you could do that. But Bowling Green sponsored a very wonderful activity once a year in which students across Ohio could sign up that they wanted to take a scholarship test in algebra or, something that really interested them. And when you think about it, you think, well, so what good is that for them? What it does do, it helps you to understand that maybe you're not as good as you think you are in a particular subject, but if you're excelling in that subject, it gives the student the ability to make a decision when they go on to college about where to go, what kind of a university would service them best, and how they can do that. And for me, it's something that they just dedicated to the communities around them, and it hasn't been replaced, and it's been a wonderful, wonderful idea. I did have an opportunity to serve on the Board of Trustees for the University of Findlay for a number of years. So I have, I think, a pretty good feeling of what our president is going through and trying to deal with circumstances I don't think that higher education has ever had to face before. So I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things that I did when I was Speaker of the House, because I think they're relevant to the student body. After spending 20 years in the Ohio House, I was forced to retire under Ohio's term limits. I formed a small business and continue to do some work on legislative issues, and actually still do that today. During the intervening years, I founded a leadership institute with the support and help of Betty Montgomery for women who had shown their interest in public service. Over 400 Ohio women have graduated from this institute. The reason I mention this is because I believe we need to encourage women to be involved in public service, and many of the women that have gone through the program are graduates of Bowling Green State University. One of the most interesting discussions I was able to participate in when I was actually doing the work of the Institute was between Bruce Johnson, who was president of Ohio's Board of University Presidents, and a gentleman who was then chairman of the Association of School Superintendents in Ohio. They both cared deeply about their opinions, and it was right at the time that this was being debated around the country, whether or not it is better to have a diploma from one of the state universities or to have a diploma from one of the great high schools here. And I was afraid I was going to have to get some help in, because when I tell you that they were really, both of them, very dedicated to being sure that the student got the right education, but had different opinions on how they could do that. So my guess is that's been some time ago, and my guess is they probably still disagree. One of the major concerns that we are going through right now with the problem with the virus is that, first of all, we need to concentrate on the care of those who are ill. But secondly, we need to not forget the children, because they are losing out on some of their opportunities to have the kind of education that they deserve. And as we start to prepare for the winter months, and the state struggles to deal with Ohio's economy, we must also resolve how our students are educated adequately so that when they finish up, that they will have an opportunity that every other student in Ohio has had. I speak to that issue as when I graduated from Findlay High School in 1945, the year the Second World War ended. I did not think I could afford to go to Findlay College. I had lost my father when I was 11, and two of my brothers were in the services, so family considerations come first. That's true now for a lot of students, that family considerations must come first. And looking back, much of what I learned was a result of working for a period of time for both the Findlay and the Ohio Chambers of Commerce. You can learn that way. It is not as easy and perhaps not as complete as it is in getting your degree from college, but I can tell you that it does work. I assume that you could have the same discussion today with the pandemic that that we need to do everything possible to ensure that today's students have an opportunity to choose for themselves which route they take and be prepared to do so. You are so fortunate to be involved with Bowling Green State University. Dr. Rogers works around the clock to make it possible under these tough circumstances to get a good education, even though there may be lots of bumps on the road. Betty Montgomery gives a great deal of her time working with Dr. Rogers and Dr. Whitehead and using all this best information possible for the students to stay on campus. I am most appreciative of the honor and want to thank everybody responsible for supporting that. It means a great deal to me, particularly when we have other things that have to come to the top in our universities, that a university still indicates that they want to recognize when people care about what's important to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Davidson, for sharing such a powerful message. Our graduates are very fortunate to hear from a selfless public servant and leader such as yourself. You know, Speaker Davidson's legacy is not defined in legislation or her work on the local, state, and national levels, but who she is as a person and her commitment to creating public good to drive the vitality of Ohio. As Provost Whitehead mentioned, Speaker Davidson is a remarkable public servant, national leader, and an advocate. And now she is also a Falcon. Congratulations, Dr. Davidson. Her connection to BGSU is something special. And with us today is another trailblazer and Ohioan who is also a true public servant. It is now my pleasure to introduce Betty Montgomery, Chair of our Board of Trustees. And also, I want to mention that Chair Montgomery was the first woman Attorney General in the state of Ohio. Chair Montgomery is a former county prosecutor, state senator, and state auditor. Most importantly, she is a 1970 alumna of Bowling Green State University. And she will provide some closing remarks. Again, congratulations, Dr. Davidson.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rogers. Thank you very much, Dr. Rogers, Dr. Whitehead, Dr. Davidson. It is such an honor to be here today. I wouldn't want to replace it for a moment because I have a chance not only to talk to graduating students and their families, but also to witness and honor to a very dear friend, Dr. Jo Ann Davidson. You know, she's both a friend and a mentor and an icon to literally generations of Ohioans and beyond. She led the way for decades with toughness and grace, showing against all odds what women can do. She has demonstrated a life well lived. I have a secret, however. She may be gracious, she may be quietly gracious, but in her office is a sign that says, "Well-behaved women seldom make history." And I can assure you personally that I know that she hasn't always been well-behaved. That said, to the graduating class of 2020, what a year you chose to graduate. And you made it. Masks, social distancing, and all. Congratulations. This year has taught you patience and perseverance. This year has made you appreciate the power of a hug, the power of an unmasked smile, and the gathering of friends and family. This year has also reminded you that you must live every day because you cannot take tomorrow for granted, or even if you will have tomorrow. So you've learned the value of flexibility and creativity and overcoming obstacles. We are very proud of you. And as a public university for the public good, we look forward to the good your time on earth demonstrates and will bring to your family, to your friends, and to your community. Congratulations to all of you, and God bless you.